welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to continue the coverage of today. We've already had some pretty crazy matches there. Outlaw suffering a loss. Of course, we had NYXL suffering their first loss. But now we have two teams who have struggled to pick up wins, but somebody's got to get their second on the season so far. Justice going up against the Valiant. Both teams, one victory so far. Who will come out on top?
Yeah, that is the big question. I mean, as you say, they're both sort of down the bottom of the standings right now. Taking that second win, not first, they've both been able to pick that up now, is going to rocket them up a little bit in our standings. Now, just to point this out, because we haven't talked about this too much yet since we've been in Stage 1, now we're getting towards the end of Stage 2. Top 6 get into the playoffs guaranteed, but 7 through 12 will have to fight it out to get those last 2 spots for the top 8. So making it in top 12 doesn't mean you're going to playoffs. That's going to be really a very competitive and tough match once you get into there, but top 6 is what you want.
And this is where we are currently at here, taking a look at the Stage 2 standings for the moment here. So interesting shakeups coming through after the loss of NYXL. Gladiators currently surging up to that top spot, but focusing on our two teams now, we have the recent acquisition literally announced earlier today. Sleepy joining the Washington Justice, coming over from the shop.
Yep, and it's been a while since we've seen this guy in action. And, you know, he's going to come in here and be kind of, you know, the supporter or perhaps the starter over Guido in the Zenyatta position. And it's exciting to see this guy finally get playtime because with Violet moving over to the Shock, you know, he kind of got put on the bench, you know, for further notice was what it looked like. But now that he's got a starting spot here potentially on the Washington Justice, let's see if he could become an upgrade, because there have been certainly some questionable trances from Guido. And if you look at the stats, career-wise across the board for these two players, this is actually a pretty valuable stat because it's actually career, so a lot of data here. Sleepy does outmatch him in every single metric. Not to mention that he's played twice as many games of Zenyatta, up at about 176 as Guido. So he's got a lot more experience in this role. Guido has played longer in terms of professional play, was an Apex Finals MVP, but that was in a completely different role. That was when he was playing Genji on DPS.
Oh, I mean, maybe we kind of have to pop the question on this one. Does this mean that Justice will use Guido in more of a DPS role?
Yeah, we gotta wonder.
Will he still be held exclusively to sub in for Sleepy if Sleepy's going to be starting? There's a whole realm of possibilities now open to the Washington Justice as far as how they want to bring that team together. But we have the Valiant, who have been looking good. They had a very competitive match versus the Gladiators for the Battle of Los Angeles. They were not, you know, unable to take that series in the end, but they did make it pretty darn close, and given how things were looking for them leading up to this.
That's right, and if you notice the stat at the bottom, 7 out of their 10 matches have decided by 1 map. So, you know, 70% of these games are going down to the wire. So even though they do have that very losing record and they only have 1 match win at the moment, we do have to remember that a lot of these matches went closer than you would have expected if you just look at the match score alone. The series against the Gladiators, you know, some people say that there was a little bit of showmanship going on with Sure4 on the Reaper, Sure4 on the Mei, but I feel like Fate in particular really killed it, and the Valiant did look like a stronger team very recently.
Well, we saw Gladiators able to net a victory just yesterday. Maybe the Valiant can do it here today, so let's go ahead and bring them out on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, your hometown squad, it's the Los Angeles Valiant.
Here they come, and this is going to be, you know, one of the closer matches that they will have. This is a match that the Valiant you feel like is a must-win, because we're looking at a squad that needs to win more than half their matches to have that spot in those playoffs, the season playoffs. So when you look at how things are going for them so far, if they can't take this series, how can you expect them to take the likes of, you know, NYXL, Shock, Titans, etc., those teams up in the top 5, Gladiators, they've already lost to. You know, these are the points you absolutely have to clinch. You cannot lose this series.
Yep, looking for that second victory. Just have to get through their opponents. Let's go ahead and bring them out on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Washington Justice.
Led today by Knights in Shining Armor, and with a new player on their roster. Flashy opening here, flashy entrance, and there he is, Sleepy, walking out with our starting 6. He will be on stage for the first time in a long time And we'll see if he can perform. There's a lot of pressure on this guy. He's been, very adamant, about playing for a while. He's been, trying to prove while streaming and doing other things that he's still in top form. So we see the Knights up here.
Got to get the photo op in.
Yeah.
Ark saying, are we good? All right, we're good. Let's go ahead as they take their seats on stage. A tough matchup here, of course, for the Justice. This meta, this stage has been suiting them a lot better. Corey especially has been a standout. Now with a more solid support line, at least in theory, we have to wait until we see them perform. But with Ark and Sleepy here, can they find success? Can they take down the home team?
Yeah, that's tough to say. We'll see if Sleepy can be the knight in shining armor for this squad. But before we get too deep into this, we have to keep mentioning Corey. And now no longer the only Western player on this roster. With 5 Koreans communicating, and he's just trying to individually pop up on the Widow. Now he's at least got another Western player with him up here on the stage that he can communicate with. They're completely different roles, but let's see if this creates some better synergy, because as we were talking about earlier in the Atlanta match, you can feel that Popo and Dako seem to both individually perform better when they're actually on the squad together. And this may be another case of that. You got to add another Western player to this roster. Maybe it makes things easier.
Well, we will find out. Time will tell. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at our map set presented by Toyota. Starting things off on Control will be Oasis. Then Anubis going to be making a return. And it seems like we might just be able to round things out with Kings Row and Rialto, unless this does go to a Game 5. We'll have to wait and see as we head into City Center.
A lot of potential in City Center for non-3-3 compositions. The Pharah in particular is very popular on this map because not only do you have wide open exposed spaces for the Pharah to do damage, but it's hard to catch a Pharah because she can drop down behind a wall, go into one of these rooms. And even if you try to jump pad up to deal with her, if you're the ranged DPS or the Zenyatta, for example, is trying to take her out in the sky, then you're exposing yourself to everyone else. And we will see agility start that far. KSF on the Soldier here. So already starting things off with a triple DPS Wrecking Ball, whereas Justice already have the proper response in the Sombra here. And Sleepy starts Moira.
As long as Corey can set up for those hacks, could lead to some good pickoffs here onto the Pharmacy comp. Agility's just going to be raining down hell from above, getting a couple nice rockets there on the Sansum, taking him to about half HP. Now weaving him in, working Giannis. That's going to be a hack though onto Fate. Will get taken down. Corey finding the first kill. Rocket still coming through. Barrage nearly going to be online for Agilities. Sleepy keeps going lower and lower.
He lives through that, yeah, and he does. I think there's a chance he could Barrage here. Sansum does have his defense matrix up. An angle.
Trying to drop in. Oh, goes dangerously low. Thought he maybe had an opening for that Barrage. Instead has to think better of it. Coalescence is going to be in from Sleepy. Just trying to focus fire Fate. It's heal denied here for the moment. Giannis as well going to get hit with that. That's going to be the Barrage opening from Agilities. Finds a double right off the bat. Can he get more? KSF pushing around the side, has attack visor raised. That's going to be a double for both of these supports here. On the side of the LA Valiant, they clean up the fight. They get the flip 31% for Justice.
Fisher said earlier, and we was talking about main tanks, so sometimes you don't really want to try to make the big play until it's guaranteed. You always want to use your ultimates when you know you're going to get the most out of them. And Agilities waited until Sansum was no longer in line of sight, no way to absorb those rockets before he popped off. Costs him a little bit of percentage, but he gets them the guaranteed cap there combined with the attack visor. Now that Space holds this EMP, it's tough for the Justice to reapproach.
Speaking of EMP, Corey has his ready, goes ahead, slams that one down. More people are going to be hacked on the side of the LA Valiant, but so far no one dying. Space going lower and lower, but they cannot finish him off. Shots just going to be coming in as Giannis wants to fire range. Smacking a couple people around, and Otto will be able to clean up KSF. The one kill coming through, but now it's the counter EMP coming through the sound barrier. However, from Ark, he does not get nailed by that hack. Will be able to get shields out to his teammates. KSF gets res back into the action. Bomb's going to be thrown in from Sansum, looking for a pick. Unable to find anything and can't make it back into the mech. Agilities will be able to deny that one. Izayaki will be traded out, so losing one of their supports. Now both, as Corey cleans them up.
Now, this is looking like a winning fight for the Justice, but it's taking them just far too long. Another Barrage is ready. And look at all the time that's being bought by Fate right now. The Justice need to kill him decisively. They've lost 20% here, which wasn't fully necessary. As soon as you start getting kills when you're the team that has the more sustainable comp, right, as the Justice do, after a good starting EMP, you've got to be able to capitalize in that moment against the DPS team. KSF, despite holding a tactical visor, is going to swap over the Zarya. They are going to go back to 3-3 here and hope that that 20% buffer they just gained will be enough to get the ultimates faster.
Well, Coalescence to start things. Sleepy drops low, straight into the face of the LA Valiant, just trying to chunk them out while keeping his team sustained. Giannis falls low, does have that healing coming through the top and back up. Otto nearly getting picked off. He's holding onto the rally, a sliver of HP remaining for him as they try to keep him sustained, but Space goes forward with the Rockets. Manages to find the kill. Corey playing up into the front, gonna be taken down. EMP manages to hack out too. They get rid of Fade. This is gonna be enough for them to maintain control. Rally comes through from agility. Giannis with the primal range. Got anti, had to peel back. Now that ult's gonna be expiring. Agility's pushes straight up into the face of Sansan, gets that stun, but they can't threaten the mech yet. Sound barrier available from Arc. Sleepy going low. Gets the armor pack out, trying to stay alive, and now Giannis is gonna be taken down. LA Valiant just causing so much chaos in the fight, splitting Justice apart. Sansan gonna get popped out, does not want to commit. That self-destruct knows that he's gonna have to hold it for the retake.
And the Justice, sure, they're at 92, and they have that big buffer, and they're gonna have some time to build ultimates here, but given how long that fight went, how won it was by the Valiant, they have this huge advantage towards ultimates, as you can see here. And now for the Justice, how do you get a grab? How do you make that happen? You're not going to have a Transcendence because Sleepy's still running this Moira. You need a kill. That's what you realistically need.
Everybody going to be meeting up here onto the high ground as the grab comes through, and Giannis just going to get focus fire down. Sleepy with another Coalescence out, manages to find Izayaki, but the flip's going to be coming through. Washington Justice regain control with some crucial kills coming in. Fate going to be trying to buy some time with the Primal Rage. And Space's bomb manages to pick off Arc. Still though, OT getting ready to tick down. Fate by as much time as he possibly can, but the Primal is going to expire.
There's a nano. Fate needs to take that. He needs the nano. He can live through a lot with that if he gets it.
Another stun going to be coming in. The sound barriers out from Costa. It's just the majority of his squad. Bomb up in the air from Sansan, drops that one into the back, but no one going to get taken down. This is anyone's fight here at the moment. Agility's still going to be holding onto the rally. Ready to armor up his teammates. Pops that one now as they look for that flip, but no,
nice pick on the Otto.
They cannot leave the point, but as you say, Otto gonna be taken down, absolutely melted by the members of the Valiant. Armor still coming through, Sleepy trying to displace, get back over to the rest of his squad. The flip getting ready to come through. Corey gets his grab denied by Space, and Sleepy gets taken down.
All right, how do the Justice retake this? Someone's gonna have to tag. It's probably gonna have to be Sansan or Arc.
Ooh, Izayaki.
He's gonna live through this. They might just not be able to do this, man. Here comes Giannis, he tags.
Oh,
he doesn't!
No.
A second too late, too patient are the Justice. These things happen. This is not a C9. This was a very calculated play to try to get milliseconds of extra bot time for the rest of the squad to rejoin. They don't put Sansan in because they know that if he goes in first, he's probably gonna beat D-Mag. So they wait until they can get 5 more steps of footsteps from the rest of the squad, so they come in as close to 6 as possible. But unfortunately, Giannis doesn't touch the ground. He doesn't actually touch the threshold of the point.
It wasn't low enough.
Yep. We'll watch this again.
At least Space with the eat here.
Yep.
Sees Corey lob it in as the D-Matrix up.
You can see how far that thing actually reaches. It's insane.
Yeah.
Teams are so good at basically just angling them in the right moments.
He's trying to catch them right there on that corner. The Valiant start things off 1-0. Now going to be looking to close it out. Justice, can they stabilize? Because that's a pretty upsetting way to lose that overtime.
Yep. But for the Justice now, they're not going to run any tricky compositions, nor will the Valiant. Not in this situation where the map just doesn't allow for it. It's going to be that mirror. Winston, though, is the variation. Fate's on that.
Well, Giannis going to get stunned up, taking down a half HP and finished off KSF. Manages to find the damage. Fate going low as well. Will be able to leap out to safety. And Justice just have to concede the first cap.
It's a lot riskier to run the Winston, but if you do get that first kill and you do get a lot of energy for your Zarya, it's just so hard for the opposing team to really contest it, even with the Rein, especially if the Rein's the first to die. So look at Fate. I mean, he's up at nearly 60. KSF leading the Zarya charge and the ult charge as well, but you know, the energy is really what I'm talking about here. Now they've got the high ground too. It's tough for the Justice to get into a good angle right now. There's all these shots being lobbed on them.
I'm just getting that mech chewed apart by KSF up here. Izayaki, by the way, with a really fast build up on that Transcendence. Has had that one in his back pocket for quite some time. He's gonna Transcendence this, Sleepy gonna feel the pressure, has to pop his own. As the grab gets ready to come through, KSF now having that one online. Well, Transcendence is gonna be burned. now this really could be anybody's fight. It's going to be about how the follow-up is on the back of these Graviton Surges.
No's Fate is staying up high so that he can leap down and has a lot more different angles to work for. There he goes, jumps back up one more time. He misses the jump, but he's got the primal. Here's the grab.
Yeah, grab comes through straight into the front of Sansam, unable to take that one away. Shield being raised, they move him over to the side, but still not going to be able to find any picks with that self-destruct. Responding grab is out, catches two for the Washington Justice, so Sansam uses his self-destruct. Unable to find anything, but Corey takes on KSF and picks the primal range, manages to find Sleepy. Now the Shatter comes in, pitches a couple right up into the front. Agilities will be swept up by the hammer. The flip's still not coming through though. LA Valiant managing to extend this percentage considerably, getting ready to hit 80.
For the Justice, at least they win a fight that takes a long. I mean, there's two ways you can look at this. One way is in the Valiant's favor. They get it up to 84%. The other way you look at this is Justice's favor because they built 52% of another grab. Sleepy is catching up to the next Transcendence because on that longer fight, you're doing a lot of damage. If you can win this next fight, then all of those advantages, the 84%, they start to wash away. Justice ends up with 50%. They're caught up in ult economy. So this fight's the one they really want to win. Otherwise, Valiant is going to look poised to just take this map 2-0.
Sleepy just sitting in the back. Throwing these right clicks into the shield of Fate as he is then swapped over onto the Reinhardt. Giannis falling low, Sleepy just waiting. Expect his finger to be hovering over that Q button, ready to pop the Transcendence at a moment's notice, trying to keep his teammates safe.
Yeah, he knows that KSF's nowhere near a grab, so they could certainly use it.
Grab, speaking of which, Corey will be using his own 100 energy on this Zarya, trying to get a kill, but even then, it's not enough damage.
And now Sleepy gets to use the second Trance if they want to keep this point. He doesn't have to, but he certainly has the ability to because he knows still there's no realistic way KSF has a grab. I love that Corey's proactive in his Zarya ult first, coming in, not going to match it, but actually just going to force out Izuyaki's Trance.
I mean, he's still building up very rapidly here. Exactly. Corey already above 50%. Giannis pushing forward, going to be looking for that Shatter setup. Playing this one patiently for the LA Valiant. The time is slipping for them. Justice are now over 70% built up. Corey about to have the grab online. That's going to be an answering one coming in. Corey, the lone man caught. They try to jump into the Transcendence to keep him alive, but the focus fire from the Valiant is just too good. They get rid of him. Now he's going to have to try to rejoin very quickly here. Sound barrier comes through. Giannis just trying to kind of around the center pillar here to stay alive. Taking a ton of damage in KSF. The help of Agilities will be able to take him out. Fate's going to be on the exchange. Arc coming up with that crucial kill here to try to keep things even for the Justice. The flip is coming in. Justice pulled back off the point.
I don't know about using that sound barrier for Arc. They thought that might have been able to turn this around. Corey being killed first was the biggest problem for the Justice. If they had saved the sound barrier, if they had reset, they'd be able to use it now, literally now, where they don't have this tool to outlast Izuyaki's Trance. Corey is not going to have that advantage anymore. It was then, not now, where he was going to be able to win this round and bring us to a round 3.
And now in the OT fight, KSF 75%. Might be able to build up another grab. Justice is going to be taken down. Grab comes through. Izuyaki pops the Transcendence. Can Justice find the additional kills that they need to get this flip and close out the round? Space with the bomb up into the air. Manages to find Sleepy. Now pushing forward. Izuyaki, he's feeling saucy. Gets right up into their faces. Takes them down, offering up so much damage. Sansa will pop the bomb, but there is nobody else to follow up. No one's going to get picked. And that is the Valiant closing out Oasis with the 2-0.
Really clutch kill there onto Corey when he had the grab at 90%. He didn't get to come back to the point in time. We saw the Trance used, or rather, excuse me, the sound barrier used by Arc a little bit early, and the Valiant come up ahead. 2-0, a great start to the series.
Very solid start for them, but Justice try to keep it as competitive as possible. Let's see if they can tie us up when we come back from the break.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
готовности.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. Our old friend Hanamura Point A presented little difficulty for Gray and the Paris Eternal as they utilized a perfectly timed bionic grenade from Ana to neutralize the entire Florida Mayhem healing output. The Eternal seized their advantage and steamrolled the point.
That's a great bionic grenade, great grenade. Anti-healing down all over Florida, and immediately the hard point not so hard anymore. That was a stomp. Wow, what a beautiful setup from Gray.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The LA Valiant able to take it 2-0 to start this series off on Oasis. Now, Assault on the way. Washington Justice able to take those rounds pretty competitively, build up some percent there, but in the end, unable to get a single one. But now we'll have to see how they fare on Assault.
That is what we are going to be taking a look at next, and it will be Temple of Anubis. So there's a lot of potential for more diverse defenses, as we've been seeing a lot of recently. The Junkrat has kind of made a resurgence, and I think for the Justice, this is certainly something they could run because they've got Corey for Widow, and you've got the potential to see Otto on that Junkrat. So something that I don't necessarily expect to see because you don't need to run this against the Valiant. You could out 3-3 them, but there's potential there. And you know, spoiler alert, based on what we see so far here in our UI, I don't think we are going to see that.
Yeah, it seems like that is not going to be the case, which is a little bit curious. I mean, you mentioned the Junkrat, but especially the Bastion, the bunker compositions. Corey has been playing that quite a bit, but seems like they will just be trying to stick to the 3-3. Whereas Valiant, a bit more flexibility, at least at the start, to try to spot out what Justice is going to be running on this defense.
Indeed. The start of things, it's not going to be the Winston either, by the way, so not completely emulating the style we've been seeing from New York. We've seen Justice do that in the past, but it will be the Reinhardt versus Valiant will attack with Winston. We may see a swap if this initial push goes poorly, but I think it is the more flexible route to take on this map in particular, because you can't really get Reinhardt to a lot of the places he needs to be against the meta compositions on this map. He doesn't have that vertical movement that a Winston does. Not to mention all the AoE impact you're going to have in a bridge like this or these choke points.
Spam coming out from Sleepy. SF going to get weakened significantly here. Corey under some fire, has to retreat, trying to stay topped up. Tank line constantly just being harassed. It seems like everybody on Valley is just shifting from one member to the other. Now it's going to be honest. This Space does manage to find that kill, but Fate will be taken down, as is Custa. So it seems like things will still be pretty good for the Justice so far.
Yeah, Corey doing a ton of damage in this fight as well.
He is surging up.
Yeah, he went up to 80% here, and he was sitting at the back line just getting maximum range value. We're going to see a trance committed here by Izayaki. I don't know about this one, because there's about to be a grab.
Yeah, a little bit questionable. Now there's going to be two members snatched up in that grab. One of them being Custa, and he will get finished off. Sleepy finding that kill. Nana's still going to be taken down, but 100 energy on Corey means that Space is back. Likely will not be able to stay alive. They're still going forward onto the fight. Are the Valiant trying to make this one work? Otto going to be taking down the sound barrier, now coming through from the Justice. Catching the remaining 4 members who are still on the point as Giannis tries to make his way back over to join in with the rest of his squad. One tick already going to be going over. Now Ark and Sleepy taken down. They clean up onto the Baby Diva. And that was looking like a pretty much a surefire victory you would expect for the Washington Justice, but Valiant just turned straight around on it, commit with that trance, and come out on top.
Yeah, they cut the Justice in half, and that's why we were watching Corey's first person view. We had to swap off real quick because he just wasn't able to be relevant in the later parts of that fight. Custa still didn't build a sound barrier, and that's because the Justice did very little damage to the Valiant. There wasn't anything for him to heal. There wasn't anything for him to build a sound barrier with. He was in speed boost mode the entire time, and they cut the Justice in half, set up that great time bank. As they attack here, if they had a grab, maybe there'd be a chance for an amazing time bank, but I think they're going to have to slowly eco-push their way through this one.
Oh, we'll have to see. Bomb thrown into the back. Try to open things up. Grab comes through from Corey. Catches him right at the exit. Shatter's looking good! And that's going to be a quadra kill for Sansam. Making it look easy. The bread and butter play of Diva Ryan.
There you go. That's how you use your ult advantage. Grav, Shatter, Bomb, Coriana, Sansam, a trio who made it happen. For the Valiant, you're not too upset about this because your opponent just used 3 ultimates, so now you're kind of leading in terms of ult charge, and you could head over to this next push on even footing and potentially even get a kill. I'm gonna take a look at this again. Look at Giannis hit this Shatter. Grav comes in. He blocks the bomb first, by the way, then comes around, hits the Shatter just behind the shield.
He barely gets around that shield. Very nicely done by Giannis.
It's just crazy to see him block Space's bomb right before that as well.
Yeah, good flip around. But Giannis now going to be taken down as we come back into the live action. KSF managing to find that kill. Sansam has to sit up onto the high ground and get top back up here. We'll have that spot contested by Space, and as he hits the ground, he's going to get taken out of the max. So suddenly, LA Valiant straight back into it, like you said. Feeling pretty good after having the Justice use 3 ultimates against them. And then it's going to be used. Everybody just taking a nap on the ground as we go stun for
Here's
stun.
the Grav.
That's going to be the Grav coming in. Fate going low. Transcendence is there from Izayaki. Shatter comes down. Giannis going to be taken out. Fate managing to find the kill. LA Valiant still operating with all members here onto the point. Sansam trying to find a pick with a bomb, unable to find anything. Arc will get rid of agilities, but now they lose Corey, so the damage core of the Washington Justice has been eliminated. Sound barrier comes through from Arc, trying to sustain through. Answered now by Custom as they push forward, still not yet building any percent on point B. It's been a pretty decent delay for Washington Justice, despite the kills still coming through for the Valiant. They still have not started ticking up, but now they will find some footing.
They've gotten so many kills, though. I think that the Justice are just trying to wait for the last second to touch on and get those respawns coming through.
Oh, when they tried to do that on the first round of Oasis, it didn't work out so well. Grab's gonna be coming in. Sansam gonna be locked up here onto the wall. Bomb comes through, and Sansam will be knocked out of that mech by Space's self-destruct. Giannis waiting. Another Shatter. If he can nail another big one, might be enough for a turnaround. He's gonna fall low. Transcendence comes out. Izayaki keeping his squad alive. Sansam manages to make his way back into the back. And Giannis is gonna be taken down now. Autumn gonna be joining him in the grave. Grab comes through from Corey as they look for the kills, but they can't get behind the Shield of Fate this time. Sansam gonna get popped out there at 98%. Corey's gonna be eliminated. They will be able to close it out.
Not the greatest time bank, but it was a great finish to what could have been a disaster after the bomb came through. Came in, were patient on their Transcends. Izayaki uses his second. They get the kills, they don't overcommit, they stick on the point, chase down the remainder of the kills so that Justice cannot come back in full force.
Still gonna be feeling pretty good. 3 minutes, 14 seconds locked down for the Valiant. Let's see what the Justice can get on their attack.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Valiant able to net themselves 3 minutes, 14 seconds after that attack on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, you know, Izayaki has really been pulling his weight in this series, and I don't want to say he's straight up outperforming Sleepy, but I feel like how the Valiant are playing around threatening Sleepy and forcing those trance senses to be used early, and how patient he is in most of his trances. That's what's leading to a lot of these ult advantages for the Valiant. I mean, there have been a few panic ones where we weren't sure about the decision making there. For example, he used that one when the bomb combo went off just earlier, and that wasn't going to be obviously useful, but I think that generally speaking, right now, you know, Zenyatta is one of those premier, in the forefront of everyone's mind, heroes of the meta, and it's important to make sure that you're the one who trances second. You know, we call it support ult chick, and it works with the Lucios as well in terms of sound barrier, because the team that uses the trance second is healing at the end of the fight, and you know what, everybody knows what that means. So we'll see if he can keep it up here. The Justice certainly have an opportunity if they get a nice first push here on A to beat the time bank, and easily there's an opportunity to match it. So this map is by no means in the Valiant's hands, but good turnaround after stagnating a little bit when they approached B.
Well, it's going to be breakless from the Valiant Agilities, working with the Batiste. So far, just taking a couple left click shots to build up for that Amp Matrix. Fate getting a lot of percentage off of that Fire Strike, and Corey's going to be taken down. Immortality Field now eliminated, but the Justice are in such a precarious position that it might not really even matter. They're going to chase forward after they get the kill here on Giannis, trying to clean up everything that they can.
The Immortality Field did what it needed to do, and so Fate got value out of the risky positioning he was standing, and not only the Fire Strikes, just some left clicks, he gets his Shatter up, and now Agilities is holding on to this the amplification matrix. When you hear pros talk about the window, that's what they're referring to as, you know, it looks like a window that you fire through. It's not too powerful in this meta. We'll see it, you know, take a bigger effect later. But let's see how they use it here, because you can just solo use it to break down the shields and break down the tanks. And also, it does amplify his healing.
Yeah. Multi-use. The damage is going to be one of the least concerning things unless Fate can nail another Fire Strike. So we'll see that Amp Matrix used as the Justice works their way up the stairs. Healing going to be coming out. Those right clicks really pushing space back up to near topped up numbers. Mortality Field going to be used. Coming out, not going to be able to find any picks. Still running in. Fate falling below half HP. Now going to get topped up. Agility's just using that mobility here, the passive leap. Constantly shift back and forth between this mid and high ground.
Yeah. Really have a cooldown just all about using your crouch. And he's just under no pressure whatsoever. He's keeping his team alive. And we still haven't had to see much damage done yet for KSF. Like, he's only at 50% of a grab, but they're just buying so much time right now, the Valiant are. And that's the key of all of this, is they're not looking to crush these team fights. They're just looking to stall the clock.
Well, so far, it's been pretty decent, but the ult's coming online over the Justice. Giannis manages to find a wonderful shatter. Gets a pin in on a KSF to get him way out of the fight. The sound barrier from Costa is not going to be able to catch him. KSF, however, does manage to find Sleepy before getting taken down. The Valiant still very much have a fighting chance. Justice, however, sound barrier of their own will get a pin onto Fate. It seems like that will be the break open here onto point A. They get drained down to about a minute and a half as the cap comes through.
It looked worrisome for a moment because, you know, the rest of his team was falling apart while he was out there chasing the kill onto KSF. KSF barely wasn't in the radius for the sound barrier that came out from Costa. If he gets sound barriered there, totally different story. But Giannis finally gets some redemption after a few tough matches, gets the shatter, gets the kills with his left click, is nearly at another shatter for this attack. They don't have a grab, and Batiste on the other side of the Immortality Field getting a 5-minute time bank here. Pretty unrealistic, but I'll see how many ults they can make on this push, especially if Corey can get his grab up.
Well, in here, that's going to be the Amp Matrix coming through. Means that Justice having some time to work with. We'll just wait out the duration of that ultimate. Now that it's expired, we can start pushing back over onto the point. He said Giannis, Shatter getting ready to come up. Now has that one ready to roll. Can he nail another one? Grab comes in. KSF trying to lock them up. Pin's gonna be looking good, and that's gonna be the bomb. Going all for space, finds himself a double kill.
It's almost like deja vu. We saw this exact same defense, you know, just from the other side moments ago from the Justice.
Fairly similar.
And you see Sleepy committed the trance as well to try to save everybody, but the bomb was too good. Now you see a stagger on the Sansan. That's a little bit of an alternate ending, I guess, of what happened previously. But yeah, the Justice now, you know, come back feeling like, okay, they used their grab, they used the bomb, they didn't use, or they still hold rather, a shatter. And Corey's 50% of a grab. This is a similar situation, but the time bank is not the same because of the good A defense we saw from Valiant. So you feel a lot more pressure here as the Justice to make something happen, and they don't really have a great way to get the grab outside of a rally. So Otto can rally to open this up, then Corey comes in, tries to get high energy, build that grab. But Izayaki has the answer, so it's kind of a catch-22 here. There's the rally.
Their way out, sound barrier gonna open things up here from Custa. Immortality field taken down. Otto, oh, he just disappears off screen. Izayaki likely coming up with some right clicks there. And just to melt him down. And now, with the Zen, with the Zarya gone, that's just gonna have to be another reset here for the Justice.
And this is one of those situations where the Valiant are playing this so safe. They're not playing for wins here necessarily. They're not playing for the crushing team fight. They're playing for time. Custa realizes one way this could go wrong is if Otto's rally overpowers them, he uses the sound barrier. Then, what he does next is he isolates Corey. He comes forward into Corey solo and knocks him back so that he can't build as much charge for his grab as he would like to. If Corey didn't get knocked so far away, he would have had the grab, he would have been able to use it in that fight, force out the trance. There's a lot of things that could have gone wrong there, but Custa makes big plays to shut that down. They can't stop it forever though, and the Justice, they missed the rally, but now they've got 5 ultimates for this potential capture here. It needs to be now, or the time bank is going to be abysmal.
Yep. Several ultimates coming up for the Valiant right now, though. Fate gets his Earth Shadow ready to roll. We've seen how quickly agilities can build these amp matrices.
Yeah, and he's just using them super liberally as well. Like, he doesn't need to hold them, he doesn't need to save them.
I mean, he throws it down, it buys more time.
Exactly, it's a threat that the Justice have to deal with.
Well, now pushing forward. I'm thinking a bit of damage. It's going to be Shatter in from Fate, but goes into the shield.
Okay, Sleepy Trance is
going to
first.
be used, though.
This is great for Izayaki. He knows he's got the answer.
Well, now KSF goes ahead, uses his own grab. Shatter comes in. Izayaki going to be knocked to the ground in the back. Now the responding grab coming in from Corey, but Izayaki stands back up. Has that trance ready to roll, but Fate going to be taken down by the self-destruct.
Really good charge from Giannis to make sure that that was going to happen.
Agility's
Takes
going to
Fate away.
off. Fate's going to be using his bomb. To find anything, Corey just pushes forward, pops a bubble, says thank you very much for the extra energy. Now they're entrenched in onto the point, and that's just going to be the cap. Washington Justice, they do finish here on Temple of Anubis, but the time bank is weak.
Really good plays by Giannis. He hits the shatter, the bomb comes through, he makes sure to hit the charge. Those are the picks you need, those are the kills you need, and they just collapse onto the point. Not the best time bank here for the Justice, but things could have certainly been a lot worse.
Yep, 3:14 for the Valiant, 1.5 minutes for Justice. We'll see what happens in OT, coming your way in just a bit. And here we go, it's time for overtime. Justice, 1.5 minutes to try to get as much as humanly possible here. LA Valiant, as you've been mentioning, Wolf, it's been a fantastic time buying from them.
Yeah. They're playing for the longer win condition of win with our attack over their defense. After their attack goes poorly, we defend again when we're dealing with a 90-second time bank where they can't build ultimates easily and then just get our single tick. That's what they're playing for here. For the Justice, they are going to be playing into, once again, the Batiste over the Brigida. So a lot of extra burst healing, consistent healing, and immortality potential. Very strong against a team that doesn't have a lot of time to build ultimates.
Pushing their way around the right-hand side, it would seem. Good decision as they try to get everybody grouped up. Sleepy getting tagged. Corey as well, taking so much damage. A sliver of HP. He barely managed to top him back up.
Yep. It's going to surge Sleepy's ult charge up quite a bit to use that Orb of Harmony there onto Corey and Giannis. It gets up to 64%. Now they're going to jump onto the point, try to force the Batiste to come to them.
Up their way down, start taking their way up. Fate going to be the lone member of the Valiant playing the corner so far.
They got a tick, that's huge.
Yeah, one's going to be surrendered. Fate so very low as they try to break him down. Agilities drops in, the shield shatters. That's going to be Sleepy finding the kill. They've already got 2.5 ticks now, 82% for the Justice. Can they actually get the cap here onto A? They're gonna be looking for it. KSF trying to stay alive. Agility's using the Amp Matrix. Transcendence is out from Sleepy. Izayaki and KSF both being eliminated. It seems like the Justice not going down without a fight.
Certainly not. Great decision making to avoid the, it wasn't a bunker per se, but the way that they're set up with the Batiste, forcing the Batiste to then have to heal off of the high ground on single targets where he's not getting the value of the AoE healing that somebody like a Brigitte is going to get in a more wider area. Grabs out.
Yep, they start things off with that grab. Izayaki immediately diving in with that Transcendence. Fate getting sunned up, pushed out, isolated. Will he get finished off? The answer is going to be yes. Sleepy managed to find the kill. Now Agility's going to be gone. The Immortality field not lasting long enough. Sound barrier through from Custa as they try to buy as much time as humanly possible. KSF's got the grab. He goes ahead. He slams it down, but he himself is going to be eliminated. The bomb's in. Right over the top. They get the boop, and Sleepy will get picked up, and now Space is going to be eliminated.
Custa
Can't
trying.
make it back, give it the back. The support line of the Valiant getting chunked out. Izayaki still holding on by a thread. He's trying to get that shielding back through. 2 ticks nearly grabbed by the Justice. Second, getting ready to roll through. Agility does not stand a chance despite the bubbles coming in from KSF. They just melt right through them like a hot knife through butter. Now KSF going to be taken
Got the
down.
trance.
Space and Custa over on the other side of the point, just trying to buy as much time as they possibly can. Now they're in the back of the point. Get back out here, try to keep this thing contested. Grab goes out, it's gonna be a bit of a whip from Corey, but it might not matter. They're still ticking up. They almost get it there at
Starting to get the respawn, though.
99.8%. Respawn still coming through for the Valiant.
May.
Onto a shatter. Sliver of HP down below half. Can he land this one? They're pushing forward, they're looking to threaten him. He's gonna die in the middle of the cast. KSF with the Tracer, taking down the bombs out from space. That is not gonna
Kill
be
Giannis.
kills.
He can kill Giannis.
He's still dangerously low, pushed into the corner behind the ice wall. May's gonna be off the point, and just like that, Justice, with a minute and a half, will be able to complete Temple of Anubis again.
Insane completion with 90 seconds on the clock. They make it happen, and they had the advantages after A, jumping into B, and they made it happen. We're gonna take a look at Giannis' Shatter again here, who's had so many good ones in this series.
In this map.
Yeah, this map in particular, yes. So he builds it up, gets the pin here onto Fate, isolates him, turns around, and that Immortality field makes you feel like you can't be killed until it's broken, but it's not going to stop you from getting stunned, it's not going to stop you from getting displaced, and when everyone's stunned in a situation like that, it's super easy to break the Immortality field and just go in and get those kills. Had there been a little bit more survivability from Custa, though, with the May coming out, Giannis getting walled off, there were some ways where the Valiant could have maybe come back, especially after Corey missed the grab. But you already feel fantastic, even if you get A with 90 seconds and you get a few ticks on B, but they got the whole thing. And the whole plan that we were talking about with Valiant, where they were just playing for the better time bank, throw that out the window now, because your opponent's got 4 points now. They got the double on both, and you might not be able to say the same with 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, their work's certainly going to be cut out for them. Just because one team does it with less time doesn't mean that the other's going to do it even with a superior time bank. So pushing their way through. Could be Fate back over onto the Winston still. No one really diverting from the 3-3. The Batiste, the only alteration that we've seen so far.
See if Giannis can make this Reinhardt work a little bit better this time. Difficult to play forward. He's just going to try to shield up his squad and eat the damage. Not looking for charges yet.
Their way through, Fate zapping away, getting that cleave in, but it's going to be the Justice who come up with the kills. 3-1 as Corey will get taken down. KSF, however, doesn't last much longer, so Corey's still going to be maintaining that grab priority with 10+%.
In a horizontal plane like that, the Reinhardt is going to do way more damage than the Winston. The Winston's usually going to build more ult charge and can build more charge with the Zarya when he's got the bubble on himself, then there's bubble from the Zarya. But in this case, he gets totally crushed. Now he's swapping over to the Ryan himself to try to match, but he's already behind an ult charge. Looking pretty promising for the Justice here.
Push their way. Same left side approach. Valiant trying to displace Otto, but the stun comes through. Space going so very low as he's stuck in the corner.
Can't believe he lived.
Actually does not get taken down, but the shatter from Giannis, he does it again!
5-man shatter, and the whole team is wiped. And that's what happens when you run the Winston. I was saying it earlier.
Oh no.
Sometimes it can be risky.
He actually made it out of there.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
But when you get that lead in the ult charge, you're the one who backs off and doesn't fight into the choke point. You get the shatter first. And when you have the Shatter first, you can make plays like what we just saw. And somehow, some way, Giannis is, I mean, I know the level of play here is not exactly what we've been seeing for them all stage long, but Giannis is hitting these. He's got another Fire Strike to shoot up to 50%. And now we have another similar situation here.
I mean, he might be lapping Fade at the lead swap on the Reinhardt now. Now he's surpassed him. They're going neck and neck for the next Shatters. Otto going to be taking down Izayaki. Having enough of this nonsense. Does manage to break down the enemy Brig. Shatter coming through straight to the shield of Giannis. Bombs up over the top. They're split. Will be able to pop space out of his mech, but he's going to go ahead, jump his own self-destruct. Another Shatter comes in, knocks down the Baby Diva, but they cannot follow up for a kill. Grab comes in. They hold him off the point. Watching the Justice now suffering losses. Sakori and Giannis will both be taken down. KSF will help pop some out of that mech. It's going to be a minute plus here for the Valiant to make their way over to B, but they have to get the finish.
Yeah, there was a lot of mistakes on the side of the Justice there, and the only thing that Sansam got was nearly the D-mech on the space, but he immediately remech. The team was cut, split, and the Valiant cleaned them up. Now they're looking for a big Shatter here from Fate to turn the tables on Shatter efficiency.
Rally nearly ready as well. Fate taking a lot of damage. She's going to be swinging away right here into the front. The shield's up. Giannis gonna have that Shatter blocked. Suddenly, Ellie Valiant pretty decently entrenched here.
Oh, there it is, there it is!
Down, that's gonna be 4 members. Taking a brief little nap. Park into the back, trying to keep the point contested. Space gonna be knocked out of the back. That's gonna be the grab coming through.
Down.
KSM gonna be locked up. But Corey gets eliminated, as you say. Otto manages to find the enemy break, taking down Agilities. The grab coming in. Pin on a Sansam takes him low, but they cannot finish off the mech yet. Fate drops the hammer again, building up another rapid Earth Shatter, but Custa gets picked by Sansam's bomb. And the Justice still maintain control with less than 10 seconds remaining. The support line absolutely broken. Fate gonna be taken down, and Washington Justice look to tie us up here in this series, making it a 1-1. The Wrecking Ball comes back through for Agilities as he desperately tries to buy some time, and he does not stand a chance against the Discord Orbs out from Sleepy. Corey does get picked. He's going to be respawning. The OT is taking away the Shatter, keeps him off the point. Custa dead as he tries to tag in. This will be it. Sound barrier for good measure just to make sure that everyone will survive. Izayaki buys a little bit more time, but he himself alone as a Tracer does not stand a chance. The OT will tick away, and Washington Justice will tie up this series 1-1.
Giannis was once on one of the best teams in the Overwatch League. Now he's on the bottom of the spectrum here on the Justice. He's been criticized a lot, but he gets 13 Earth Shatter kills this map compared to Fate's 4, quadrupling that nearly. And what a redemption story for this guy. It's against the Valiant, sure, but he is having a map of his life right now.
That he is. We are all tied up as we head into halftime, so we'll see you guys on the other side of the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Огонь по готовности!
Both the Valiant and the Justice are trying to get just their second win of the season, and it won't be easy for either one of them with things all tied up at 1-1 at the break. What's up, everybody? Malik here at halftime. We got Sideshow and Zoe here. There's a lot of talk about this new acquisition that the Washington Justice made. For those of you who don't know, Sleepy has made his way over from the San Francisco Shock and is now a member of the Washington Justice. So, with this new acquisition, how's it panning out for the Justice so far?
It has made such an unbelievable difference for the Washington Justice, and you might not be able to tell completely from at home, but just judging by the communication structure as well, this has made such a huge difference to this team. This is what they had previously, this starting roster with Guido in it. With Sleepy coming into the team, they are now a structure that has a couple of players who are Korean but fluent in English, like Ark, like Giannis is very comfortable speaking that as well. And then Sleepy and Corey now being in the starting roster, they tend not to run Stratus and Phasix at all, means that they have to switch from being primarily Korean to definitely communicating in English. And the respect that they have for Sleepy means that they have made that just complete wholesale switch. Their communication structure used to be about 70% Korean, and now with Sleepy coming in, pairing alongside Ark as this really solid backline with all of that respect, they've gone to basically 100% English communication. And it just allows Corey to play better, it allows Sleepy to lead. They seem like a team that, admittedly, they have very little experience playing together with this six-man lineup, but they are starting to make real plays, like actual good decision-making in this team, and relying on the experience of Sleepy and Ark. This is a team that can now actually maybe go somewhere.
Yeah, I think every single player in this team is benefiting from this switch to English. We also see Janice looking improved, and that's partially because he and Corey actually get to really communicate with each other, and having fluent communication in your main tank lineup, or rather in your tank lineup, is just so crucial. So the bubbles from Corey have looked much better, and generally Corey's stats look better as well as Janice Duck's stats have been looking much improved, to say the least.
All right, so you guys say that. Is it safe to say that they've pretty much unlocked Corey a little bit by having Sleepy there on the roster and having Ark in the back line as well?
A little bit. I mean, I'm not still totally sold on the Washington Justice. I don't think that they're a fantastic team and they're now going to come out and destroy everybody. But what I am excited about is that the pieces, the infrastructure is now starting to improve, I think. And they look like a team that can actually go places.
I agree.
I mean, Anubis was impressive from them overall.
Yeah, Corey looked really good on Anubis. Let's roll some clips from that, because I actually think he performed very well, which kind of got me thinking about him possibly being unlocked.
Yeah. I think definitely they're starting to unlock Corey, and it can only help to be able to communicate with the rest of the team in that kind of way. And before, it looked like Corey was only effective when he played Widow and when he didn't really have to communicate with everybody else. And now you can start to imagine how he would fit into this team and or start to have a big impact.
Yeah, it was really nice. On the other side, however, KSF looked a little better as well than what I usually see from him. So I don't think Valiant played terrible either. I do think that both teams looked in some ways a little bit more improved. Yeah. But then again, it might also just be that they're going up against an opponent who's maybe more within their own realm. Yeah, I mean, so you know, we still have to see how either of them will look like when I go up against a much stronger opponent.
Yeah, we all predicted the Valiant in this game.
Can you stop hiding behind me? You keep
slowly but surely pushing you to the side there.
What are you doing? I'm going to stand you now.
I think we all predicted the Valiant here. Hello.
Jesus.
I'll stand in front of you there. We all predicted the Valiant today, but because they're individually, I think they're stronger players, and they've had more time together as a team as well. So we were expecting them to be able to win, but I like the improvements we've seen from Washington.
So you said something just now that made my ears perk up a little bit. You said Giannis has been looking a little better today. So let's talk about the head-to-head matchup between him and Fate. Has Giannis been going toe-to-toe with Fate in this matchup?
Not at the very beginning. I think Fate kind of took the lead earlier on. However, later on, Giannis really started to catch up. And look at those Earth Shatter stuns. That is actually super impressive. He got so much done for his team. Granted, the time play difference is probably or has to be taken into account. But overall, Giannis is only one death further in than Fate is, and usually Janus is leading that board by a lot.
Yeah, Janus does love to throw his body in there at times, but he has been good over the course of the season, actually, of landing these huge stuns.
Yeah.
He seems to have a great understanding of where the opposing Reinhardt's shield is and how to sneak past it.
Honestly, most of those stuns, they have not been set up by the Brick or anyone else. This was really just Janus positioning himself very cleverly.
Right. So, all right, moving into the second half, who are you guys giving the edge to, given what we saw in the first?
Even though I'm impressed by the developments that we've seen from the Washington Justice, and I think they're starting to come together as a team, my money's going to be on the LA Valiant, because I think they've got better players, and I think overall, when their team starts to get together, they should start to outpace the Washington Justice. They just haven't had enough experience with this team yet, Justice, I think, to be able to take this match.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think the Valiant's experience generally on this stage will come into play here. And yes, Justice did look better. However, Valiant, you know, you can rely on those guys.
You can't pick against them in this arena because you're going to have to run to your car.
That's also true. I'm a little bit scared.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for that. And we're getting ready to get back into the second half of this match. We're all tied up 1-1. Who's going to come out on top? We're going to find out when we get back.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are all tied up as we exit the halftime. So, good win coming through from the Justice. The back of a lot of great Earth Shatters there from Giannis, really leveling up his performance on Temple of Anubis, but there's still more Overwatch to be played. You know, one of these teams is going to be taking the lead as we get ready to move into Hybrid, which will be King's Row.
Certainly, as we head into this one, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of ways that, you know, Giannis can get these big shatters again, tripling, you know, shattered kills over his opponent, and also then getting double the stuns, generally speaking, as well there. I think it was 25-12. So he's definitely getting more out of the ultimates, and we are seeing a little bit more on the other side of the Valiant from Fate, a little bit more Winston. But hey, if the Rhine is working for you, you're going to keep using it. And this is the Rhine map. And we're heading into Rialto after this, where you see Rhine a lot of the time as well towards the end, middle to end. You know, sometimes see some Winston to start things off, but the majority of the map is Rhine favored.
And we'll see who's going to be able to come out on top here as we jump in. We'll have the Washington Justice on the defense first, Valiant getting ready to go on the attack.
I think part of the reason why Giannis has gotten kind of a bad rap and he's been struggling is because in his glory days back when he was on LW Blue, when he was playing in Apex, he was known for being a revolutionary player, kind of like Miro in a lot of ways. Like everyone who watched back then, and you can Google this, remembers the time he hid in the ceiling on Volskaya as Winston and got extra jump damage, his flanking shatters. But here, gimmicks don't work anymore. We've leveled up the play since the Apex days. People are way better now than they used to be, and you've got to play standard, you've got to play safe. You can't always be at the front, you can't always be flanking. But today, he's playing that safe style, and he's still finding the shatters.
Pushing forward here on the attack, Izayaki gonna be wrapping around that right-hand side of the statue. Spamming away, trying to get some extra damage in. Moving towards that Transcendence. Giannis pushing forward, taking a lot of damage. Has to kite his way back to safety, gets stunned up, and that's gonna be the kill. They chase forward, now Sansam gonna be knocked out of the mech as well. And things that seem wonderful for the Valiant as they break open A and will have an absolutely massive time bank for the street space.
We talked mostly about his shatters. We may have cast or cursed him a moment there, but he was the first to die before shatters even halfway online. Just poked down by Izayaki, who leads 30% the Zenyatta charge, which means he did about 30% more damage there with the combined healing. And this is a great time bank, especially because the Justice didn't fight longer there. They didn't end up with a, Zarya lead. There's no real silver lining here for the Justice, unfortunately, outside of the control of this choke. But there's no ultimates to hold that, so Valiant should be able to break through.
Well, Sleepy in the back, trying to get that Transcendence ready to match Izayaki.
Almost a DMAC on the Sansam.
Yeah, nearly had that one again. KSF, a couple % away from that grab. But you can see the choke just going to be surrendered by the Justice. Don't want to overstep. Know that if they lose there, they likely just give up the entire rest of this free space for free.
Grav is ready, or Corey's is ready. They might be able to use this to force out a Transcendence. They get an angle. It's all based on Sansam. His Matrix is on cooldown.
Yep, saw that one used. Instantly goes ahead, throws down that Graviton Surge. Transcendence is out from Sleeper, trying to keep them alive. Shatters out from both sides. So far, no one's going to be taken down. Corey, the second grab coming in, the bomb out from Sansam, but it's not going to find any kills. Still, health bar is going low and lower on either side. The agility's taken down as Arc drops the beat, gets his shields through to his team members. They will be able to stay alive and stabilize with the card.
Arc saves Giannis there with the barrier. Giannis was looking for one of those flank moves I was talking about. He was behind the LA Valiant, but did end up getting caught, did go low. But the sound barrier kind of keeps everybody alive. He does build the Shatter now. And for the first time on this map, the Justice really do find their footing. They've got a positional advantage. They have that Shatter, which if Giannis can continue to find value out of that, it's a great way to really stagnate this push. He's going to hide.
Giannis pushing his way out into the front line. Cannot block that Shatter, though. It's going to be Otto and Sleepy both taken down. Giannis isolated, all alone in the tube, will be taking down, and that is going to be B, snagged by the LA Valiant. 3.5 minutes about still on the clock as they roll into B.
That's worst case scenario here too, Achilles. When you're up at the front like that, you're trying to make a play, but you get caught, the rest of your team tries to come in and peel for you, but everybody dies. And when you look at your screen for the Valiant, almost no ultimates used. So that's the easiest way to a great time bank. You may have the ult advantage now, but it's insignificant compared to the time game.
Well, Rally going to be rolling for the Justice. Agilities. That's his up as well, so everybody going to be receiving armor. Grab comes in from Corey, bombs up over the top. Bait going to be taken down. That's going to lead to a double kill for Sansam, as well as the knockout onto space. So Cart again going to be snatched up by the Washington Justice.
Also, better spawn room here now that you've gotten Bs, so you feel like when these ults come down, if they came up before B, you're like, oh, this is terrible, we have to walk so far, but now they can get right back on this.
Look at Giannis, he's waiting around the corner.
He's trying to make those plays.
Yep, they turn to the side, and oh no, it goes straight into the shield. They'll stun him. In all likelihood, kill him off. He's lasted for a bit longer. Now it's going to be the grab into the Transcendence. The pin comes through from Fate. Takes him way out of the fight. They still haven't finished him off yet, but now he will die alongside a couple other members of his squad. So just like that, Only Valiant back in onto the cart. They try to be sneaky, but instead blows up in their face.
In Apex Season 3, that play shatters the whole team, and you're the front page of Reddit, you're the front page of InVin, and you're the god. In 2019, you get scouted, the shield comes up, you waste your ultimate, your whole team gets wiped, and the cart keeps rolling. It's a different time, it's a different place.
Yeah, and Bumper's already done it so many times, and people see it coming, but Sleepy couldn't get out of position for that self-destruct face. But it's a very crucial pickup with the bomb. And now 3 kills over to the side of the Valiant as the cart continues to glide in. 3 minutes plus, Sansum gonna get popped out of the mech auto. Alone has to push over to the cart to try to contest it, but won't be able to do it. So it's 3:05, I do believe, on the clock for the Valiant as they explode on the King's Row.
Huge gamble to try to set up for the shatter. It cost them everything. Corey's grab, he'll never get to use it. They never get to use any of their ultimates because they're reset and spawn camp can't get positional advantage. They're coming in, they're staggered, and they went for the risky play. It did not pay off.
Well, now the Justice seem to have one hell of an attack. We'll see if they can pull it off when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And welcome back. 3:05 on the clock for the Valiant after their attack on King's Row. And, you know, it seemed like they pretty much had control the entire time. There was very few moments where the Justice were able to take the cart away from them, and when it did happen, it didn't last very long. Still staying in good spirits, it would seem, are the Washington Justice. You can see Corey, that beaming smile all the way down to the end of the table.
I think, you know, he's communicating purely with Sleepy at this moment. They're smiling at each other. But I think that's that's part of the point that was made during the halftime show, is having another Western face on the roster, even with Giannis and Arc being pretty fluent in English, Arc especially so. It can change the dynamic. You've got 2 different cultures, you've got 2 different languages, and, you know, this is their first time playing together on a stage like this. Sleepy was just announced, you know, this morning, so we'll see how much of an impact it makes. There is a trade-off to this too, though, that no one's talking about. Is taking another Western, putting another Western on her, also potentially weakening the Korean communication. That's something that I don't think we'll have the answers to for a while, but looks like they are in good spirits, as you say. And Corey's always been the guy who smiles in the face of adversity. Mirror matchup here, no Winston this time. It's going to be the Ryan v Ryan we talked about. Let's see if Giannis can find his way in on the attack, because he's not going to be getting any flanking shatters as the attacker. He's going to have to win the straight-up neutral matchup.
Well, agility still shifting over onto the Batiste again, so going to offer him a lot of burst healing and some extra damage. He's already at 56% for that Amp Matrix, so really surging his way up. Fate taking a lot of damage. The Fire Strike going to be looking pretty good there for Giannis. Mortality Field going to be burned down.
Bought him enough time to get the healing. There's the window.
Yep, going to be invested here. Spamming away again. This will amplify his healing. Sansum going to be popped out of that mech. Still not enough to keep Fate alive. He will get taken down. Will be popping the ship, trying to keep space alive. Moves up onto the high ground. Will lose that mech. Sansum able to hound him down. Second tick going to be snagged by the Washington Justice, who look like they're having just as successful of an attack on A as we saw from the Valiant. They will close this out.
You miss a little bit of consistent cleave damage when you don't have the Brigida. You also lose, you know, in a longer fight like that healing, because eventually the shift ability that Batista has does wear off. But the biggest thing, I think, is you lose the bash, and the bash is going to give you the opportunity to kill heroes like Giannis who are retreating. Giannis been down to like 20% health. They couldn't lock him down. There was not a lot of ways to hit him at range when he had his shield up, outside of just poking it with agilities as left clicks. So there is a trade-off, and you could feel it there. The Justice basically get this point with no kills.
Yep, and now it's going to be a grab thrown down. Some right here in the street. Answering grab does come through. Now it's going to be dropping the Shatter. Doesn't need too many stuns. Answering Shatter now coming through, and Fate has a bit more success with his. He'll clean up 4 members and Sansum's mech here at the end, you would expect. Yeah.
Trying to D-Matrix his way out of it, but the stagger is inevitable. At least he's gonna not get too staggered. He's gonna just walk his way in here. But for the Justice now, you know, you're starting to worry about, can we break through this choke now? Because KSF's leading. That's a bit of a mistake.
Yeah,
well, he saw sleep.
Panic.
Yeah, but now KSF's halfway to a grab. Corey's just now, you know, at 13%. Now they have to fight around this choke. Ideally, they'd like to get through this choke before KSF has a grab, but you're trying to fight into an immortality field. It's really tough to hard engage into that, which is part of the reason why Giannis has had some trouble getting picked first.
Well, working their way back through the choke. Rally's going to lead for Otto. Pushing forward, Valiant, paying them some respect. Give them a lot of room to work with as KSF falls low. Now it's going to be the window coming back through. Giannis going to be taken down. Bomb thrown into the back by Sansum as he looks for a pick. Going to win the kill onto the immortality field. They will not be able to do so. Face shield gets broken, but right click sustain coming out from agility. It's just too much. The Justice do not have enough damage to take him down. Now they push forward, and Sansum, well, he's going to get popped out again.
Yeah. One of the cool things that we're seeing agilities do with the Valiant is they're stepping way too far forward. Like, you know, KSF's getting insanely low, but he's getting his grab. He's getting extremely low, and then Agilities puts the immortality field right behind them, and they all just walk backwards. They moonwalk into safety. They can't be killed. They get healed up. KSF holds a grab. Justice walk into that. They get killed because they're trying to kill the immortality field itself. Now they have all the ult advantages on their side, and they could just kind of back off. They bought so much time already.
Grab is set, throws it around the corner. Shatter instantly going to be coming down, and Yash just disappears. Space showing us a magic trick.
Yeah, and Corey, grab not successful here. This is going to be another reset. And this is the value of the choke. To get through the choke, you have to take so much damage. The Valiant can play aggressive and go low on health with their tank line, where everyone's going low, right? You know, KSF's going low, Fate's going low, Giannis is going low, Corey's going low. But then Valiant get to walk back into an immortality field and burst healing, whereas the Justice are kind of reliant on arc hitting his amp it up, but he's already used it for the speed boost to engage. So that's the big catch-22 here, is you're trying to get through the choke. This time they walk through without the speed boost.
All right, grab coming in. Find some members of the Justice in onto the cart. Arc already taken down. The bomb from space not going to get much, but the damage has already been dealt. Giannis will find a pin on the Space's mech. He tries to take him out, but KSF is there. They finish the kills, and suddenly his time bank is dwindled quite a bit. Less than 2 minutes remaining now for the Justice.
Let's watch how far forward KSF plays this next round, because he's high energy, and he can build a grab very quickly, even though he's only at 30%. He could probably get one before Corey if he keeps playing like he is right now. Then we see Agilities drop the immortality field. There's a lot of different ways that this becomes not a full hold, but practically one, as they get held just outside of A in this choke point. Up to 50% now. And look, he's just going to step forward.
Pushes back, builds up that energy, allowing for Fate to drop the shield for a moment, help keep that healthy. Counters up for both of these Rhymes. See if either can land it. Sleepy gonna get knocked to the ground there on the cart. Otto as well. The sound barrier comes through from Arc as they push forward. The Valiant is continuing to kite back. Now it's gonna be the window coming in. Shatter comes down. Manages to find Fate, but the immortality field is up. Corey focuses that one out, but he himself will be eliminated. Find Fate as he finds Otto. Bombs here from Sansum, not going to get anything. He'll make it back into the mech, but it won't last for too long. They melt right through it. Giannis goes down, and we just rinse and repeat.
The heal ultimates come out later there as well for the Valiant, and Otto's going to have a rally. That's all they can really hope for to challenge this position. get the armor through, come in swinging with the tank line, quite literally with Giannis, but Corey, of course, trying to beam his way up to a Graviton Surge. But, you know, when you're at 35 seconds, it seems unlikely he'll be able to finish one, and you still have to contend with the immortality field around this choke. It's going to get so much value. Everyone can just back up and stand in it. Self-destruct to engage.
Right up here into the choke. Not gonna find any picks. Fate dropping the hammer there in the back. Mortality field will get taken down. 15 seconds remaining. The Washington Justice need to make something of this play, but see, that's going to be another Amp Matrix coming through for Agilities, just keeping them zoned back for the moment.
Arc has to touch, they have to engage.
They have the cart, they'll force the overtime, but so very far to go just to get the B, and they still have to finish the map. We don't want to suffer a loss right here, right now. Grab comes in. They're trying to hide around the corner. Shatter does come down, knocks a couple to the ground, and Agilities will be taken out. Costa trying to survive, nearly has a sound barrier ready to go. 5% left for that one. Izayaki will buy the time with a Transcendence. Magic sound barrier out now from Arc. Costa actually gonna die before he can use it. And that is gonna be the cleanup kills coming through for the Justice, as they will be able to keep pushing. Valiant should be able to contest this before they reach B, though.
You mentioned the elephant in the room here is that they need to finish the map, and they are in overtime before B. But this fight, after they waited and baited out the immortality field, focused it down, then re-engaged later, last second, that was what won them this fight, and they get to hold their ultimates. They keep the Shadow, they keep the Bomb, and they keep the Grab. So they have the lead in ult economy, although it's very slight.
Well, Grab coming through, just a guaranteed B. A minute and a half now on the clock. The Bomb dropped in, the shield gonna be taken away, and Sansa finds himself a double kill.
Yep, Otto with
the final stretch here for the Justice.
Otto with the flanky shield bash there. I mean, I think that was going to be a one fight no matter what. But, you know, as you say, the guarantee B. They keep the Shatter. They're going to have a Transcendence soon. They're playing as far forward as they can right now to try to set up for all the information, all the vision that they need, and just poking every little ounce. Corey needs another grab before they get to C. That's why he was playing so far forward.
Yeah, Matrix gonna be thrown down. Immortality field gonna be used. They pop Fate up into the air. The Shadow comes down. There's multiple members, but the kills aren't gonna be there. Shadow up from Fate goes right into Jonas's field. Or barrier, rather. Now, work their way back over onto the card. 40 seconds remaining. Transcendence is used by Izayaki. KSF gonna be throwing the grab. Finds a few. They need to get rid of the shield if they want the bomb to pop. That'll be Corey getting taken down alongside Giannis and Otto. So one more push realistically here for the Washington Justice as they go for the resets.
During the Transcendence of Sleepy, the Valiant backed off so that Corey couldn't get as much charge on his ult as he would like to have. And there's a possibility that he doesn't get it here either. You know, he doesn't have that sound barrier on him yet. Arc will build it in a second, but they don't have that much time. They have to be decisive. You know, no trance, so Corey's got to get the grab. The grab has to be big, it can't be eaten. That's the win condition here for the fight. Then they're gonna have to push all the way to C for the overtime.
All right, he will have the grabs. He tries to stay alive to build up that energy. Has a bubble, ready to go to offer this one up. Pushing their way forward, looking for the overtime finish. To try to force out a draw here as
hesitating.
Grab gonna keep coming through, finds Fate on top of the cart. Can they get the kill, however? He's still alive. The Transcendence going through from Izayaki keeps him in the fight. Shatter, nearly available for Giannis. Arc holding onto the sound barrier for now. Rowley is rolling from Otto.
That's what they need.
They try to
barrier
get forward. Fate playing alone now, going to be joined in by the rest of the squad. Knocked down below half HP.
Corey's dead.
Corey's going to be taken down. KSF finds a kill. Sansa going to be knocked into the back. The sound barrier a little bit too late for Mark to try to keep him alive. And Giannis gets sent over the end there by Costa with a right click. The grab will come through. They clean him up. Arc goes into the pit as well. The Valiant will take King's Throw. Now 2-1 in the series.
A very swift turnaround after Anubis. It was not, you know, looking like they had the advantage in terms of momentum after Giannis hit so many shatters, but things completely turn around here. And the Valiant looking great, looking poised now to finish off this series.
Solid starts for both teams, but only one of them makes it to the end, so Valiant lead 2-1.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Valiant now leading in the series 2-1 at match point. Could all come down to Rialto. Agility's here, bringing out the Batiste on King's Row, looking really good. Buying so much time just by throwing up the amp matrices.
Yeah, the amp matrices poking through a lot of Justice's shields and barriers, but also his ability to use the amplification, or excuse me, the immortality field, so that everyone could back up into safety after playing forward to get energy, to get ult charge, especially KSF. We're heading to Rialto, where we've seen a lot of Batiste as well, so he can continue that. He's found a lot of success with it thus far. Even on Anubis, you know, it was a good pick for them, despite their loss there.
Yep.
And that's a lot of it. That was because Giannis was getting the shatters through the immortality field, but when he wasn't able to win out that duel versus Fate, that's when things got a little bit hairy.
Well, Justice looking to tie us up again. Managed to do so after Anubis, as you say. Want to force that game 5.
Yeah, and of our first 3 maps, King's Row was by far the most one-sided. Anubis was extremely close, and Oasis was extremely close. So, well, extremely close is strong, but it was pretty close, right? So now it really feels like the Valiant have the ball in their court because of the momentum shift.
I mean, not only that, but we just saw the map record for both these squads. 3-1 on Rialto for the Valiant, 0-3 for the Justice. So need to pick up that first Rialto victory here if they do, in fact, want to force us to a Game 5 tiebreak.
The starting push here for the Valiant. On the attack, they will have agilities on for Gita. We'll see what changes when we go to defense. Very aggressive push for Fate.
Yeah, it doesn't get too much as far as the ult charge is concerned. So the Justice just disengaging back to the initial corner here. Giannis going to be swinging away, just trying to maintain control of the cart from here. Push up the staircase. Valiant looking to grab the high ground.
Sansom here is just, you know, playing with fire. If he gets isolated, it's going to be a big problem.
He doesn't get stunned up. KSF looking for a target. He's how low Giannis is. The shield still being raised as he tries to survive, but Arc actually going to be taken down. Agilities manages to find the opening kill. Push around the back, the right click's coming in, weakening the remaining members of the Justice as they try to escape across the bridge.
They do get away, and they take some ult charge with them on their way out, but that's going to be a stagger onto Otto, which means this is almost guaranteed to be a free cap on A. Sansom played aggressive, but when he had to boost away, there was no one to peel or protect Giannis. He goes down first. Now we're going to see the engagement here during capture.
Yeah, I mean, they just snag it. Giannis charging his way back across the bridge just to stay alive. Look for the exit. Primal Rage is used by Fate, but in all likelihood, we'll see a swap for the Reinhardt anyway.
I actually really like how Valiant engaged there because they knew that getting A is free. Like, there's no way that Justice can contest, but they fought during that animation so that they could control the bridge. Now, there's no way that Justice can knock them off, per se. Although, as I say that, Arc!
Yeah, looking for it. Oh, KSF! It's pooped back again, but he will not go into the grabs. Now he gets the grab. Catches him here. The bomb's in the back. Space looking for the pop. That's going to be Corey taken down. Sleepy using the Transcendence as well. The HP bar still in shambles for much of the Justice. But Arc gets himself a triple kill. Oh, man.
It's not going to matter, though, sadly, in the end.
He couldn't get KSF initially, so he trades up for 3, but the cart will still roll for the Valiant.
Yeah, that's going to be an annoying stagger, and they might be able to hold the high ground for it, so it's still relevant, but it wasn't as relevant as it needed to be. KSF still gets the grab where he was looking for it, and he would not be knocked into the drink. Now we're going to see Giannis come up here onto the high ground. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this with him not having a shatter.
Sansom working his way into the back, trying to get space on that high ground. He's not able to do so. Sound Barrier's going to be coming in. Grab, use, solo onto Fate. Transcendence over from Mizuyaki will keep flying. Bomb now flying up into the air. Sansom looking for a pick in the back, but unable to find it. He's it back into the mech, but Otto will be taken down in the meantime. 100 energy up out for KSF as the kills start coming through. Giannis finds Custom, but Fate gets Giannis. cart will continue to advance. 3.5 minutes on the clock as Sansam gets knocked out of the mech. That will be the cleanup here as the Valiant are cruising their way through Rialto.
Yeah, Washington Justice tried to hold that high ground despite not having the proper ultimates to do so, and you could feel the desperation in Sansam's self-destruct. It was at a good angle, and it was going to potentially catch the Valiant off guard, but once the fight was already lost on the high ground, they just had to turn around, block with shields, put up bubbles, and it didn't do anything. He's 50% to another one, but the fact still stands he used it, and this cart just keeps rolling for free.
Thomas playing up, looking for an opportunity to drop the hammer. Might not be able to find one though, as the grab comes in, the bombs up off the top, but Space unable to find any kills. Pin comes in from Giannis, they do knock him out of that mech. There's going to be an exchange on the Divas, but now as I say that, Giannis is going to be taken out by Izayaki and the Valiant have broken their way through into the final part of the point here.
If they just keep getting staggered, they're never going to have 6 to defend. I don't know if they ever will. I think that might be the end of the defense.
It might be.
They might not be able to group for 6 in time, and they're just going to keep getting staggered. They took a bad fight. They stayed out too long.
They have a bigger bang combo. Might have to use it just to try to close this out, but Corey's going to be taken down. He doesn't get an opportunity to use the grab. Sansam going lower and lower. Will be knocked out of the mech. The bomb has to be used just to try to make his way back in. Fate gets the shield up in time, and they will just cruise in. Giannis just a couple feet away from being able to contest that cart. Valiant make fantastic time.
You cannot get staggered in that position. If you get staggered in that moment, then you can't get all 6 members out of spawn, so you lose a 3v6 fight for the rest of your defense. And that means the Valiant, you know, basically, they don't even have to use ults. They just keep killing you straight up by doing more damage than you. And the Justice, they took a lot of risks that map, and they did not pay off. We're going to take a look at Ark's redemption here after the fail on KSF.
Oh, yep. That'll do it. Oh, Fate. Right in the corner of the boat. Couldn't quite land on it.
He
Take some lessons from KSF, I guess.
Yeah, he smiles. He was probably told he got a play of the game there, but, or, you know, play of the replay, whatever you want to call it.
The play of the replay.
He got the play of the replay, man. Was it his replay or was it somebody else's? No, it was his replay.
He got it. it was the highlight. We should say really for the Justice on that, because the defense wasn't that present.
Sure.
So now need to try to match or best 346. I mean, let alone just finish the map here on Rialto.
Yeah. And I mean, if you were, I don't know, man.
The play of the
it's not looking good. It's not looking good here at Kilios for the Justice.
Man. It's not.
And I have to say, like,
it's really hard to give a silver lining in this moment.
I'm trying, but it's tough, you know. And to be honest, he had a great Anubis. Like, he really, really did. But things fell apart on King's Row, and he's having trouble here. 3rd fastest time on Rialto, by the way. That's going to be, you know, one for the record books here as the Valiant just look to hold here on A. We do not see agilities, by the way, on the Batiste. It's actually going to be Izayaki instead on Ana.
Yep, sticking through with the brig.
This makes sense for Winston. This is the Winston play where you can have better range healing. The nano boost scales better with the Winston than the Ryan on the defense here.
Duck coming in. Oh, Fate. Yeah, gonna get pushed off to the side. Out of Izayaki's control. You couldn't get any healing onto that Winston. Let's get taken down. Cart slowly starting to advance as they round the first corner. The Valiant likely gonna have to pull way back into the courtyard. They're still maintaining high ground control, trying to keep this contested. Base gets the bubble, but Agilities, he is so far out of position, all the way back towards their spawn. Play this one patiently, but KSF up on the high ground, actually finds a kill into Arc. Now it's gonna be an Nano in on the base. He jumps into the back, gets rid of Auto. They might actually be able to stabilize.
If he can get Primal, he can live too. He doesn't even need it.
Yep, will not need it. They do manage to regain control despite losing their main tank off the start.
Now the Valiant can actually operate around this high ground towards the spawn and then back off because they do have this Primal, because they do have the Grav. And we'll see if they take that. Looks like we're just going to see Space and Agilities up here for now. They do scout out the Justice wrapping around the other side, so this is not going to come as a surprise. They are in position already.
Grav going to be coming through. KSF. Lots of members of the Justice to bomb up. Space up on the high ground, so not really in position to try to get any kills in the bigger bang combo. I think he gets a nice pin there on Acosta.
I think he wanted to nudge it, but didn't happen.
Other way, not where he would have wanted that to be placed. Fate still moving forward. The Primal Rage going to be expiring. And Agility's just trying to stay alive, swinging away. as best as he can.
It's actually great for the Justice because Agilities is cut off, and even if he lives, like, he's going to get staggered eventually.
Now Fate's going to be gone. KSF down to half HP. A push up into his face. They managed to take him down. That should be A going over to the Justice.
When you look at right now, Agilities and Izayaki, like, they're basically just, even though they didn't die, they don't have deaths, they basically have extended death timers because they're irrelevant for even longer than a death timer.
Oh, 0.03 meters. They finally do tag in, get the contest. Bomb coming in, grab gonna be thrown out on the back end, trying to make for a bigger bang play. Unable to find it. Still so very close here as the Valiant continue to aggress. Primal range going through from Fate as the nano boost expires. Grab coming down, catches a couple of the members of the Justice over here onto the corner. Sansam managing to stay in the back for now, but Corey will be eliminated, but Fate taken down well into the back lines here. Agilities with the rally rolling, getting knocked around by Giannis. He's meant to stay alive for a little bit longer here as they maintain control of this one. Still such a minute amount of distance that they need in order to get A. Bomb out, not gonna find anything. KSF manages to clean up the enemy Ryan, and Fate has rejoined. Bomb thrown down onto the cart, the shield comes up, Fate will block that one out. Valiant still fighting as they find a kill into Otto.
There's so much healing with the Ana, and, you know, KSF, he surges forward to 82%. He was doing the majority of the damage in that fight. He was on top of the cart, high energy. The Justice hit a big shatter, but there was no follow-up, no kills that they needed to get to finish A. And that might just be all she wrote for this one because you don't have the tools to take this anymore. You got a long run back. You're going to be going against the grab. You don't have a trance. What are you going to do here? That longer fight was perfect for the Valiant. Not only did they burn down the clock, but they get the ults they need to close out this series.
KSF getting tagged up quite a bit. Nearly has the grab ready to roll. 8% more. Corey a bit further behind. Now at 79. Hit top back up from the armor pack as they try to push this one across the finish line. Triple support ultimate's nearly there for the Justice. Gonna have to use them now. Sound barrier to lead. Get the charge out. Cart getting ready to push back forward. That's gonna be Honest taken down. Sound barrier now out from Custa. The grab is in from Corey. Catches him as KSF tries to stay alive. The rally armor helps keep him in the fight. Shatter comes down, 2 on the side. They push forward, look for the kills. Sleepy taken down. Otto, below half HP, will get eliminated as Agility swings his way to a triple kill. The bomb from Sansam will find nothing, and the full hold will be completed. The LA Valiant, they take the series here with a finish on Rialto, 3-1.
Very impressive stuff on the hold. Agility's on, you know, he's set up so many of these plays with the rallies that synergized with the heals coming through at the same time. So the armor persisted despite the ultimates coming through. And, you know, for the Washington Justice, is another disappointing finish. Despite a good start in competitive first 2 maps, it all fell on its head in the end. By the way, play of the game was Arc with the triple kill. But I have to say, you know, this is a Valiant that's looking improved. You know, from what we saw at the beginning of the season, they take their 2nd win. That's the key here. They need many more if they hope for the season playoffs. But for the Justice, you know, you got to feel for these guys. It's been a tough road. They brought a new player in today. It's going to take time to synergize with him. I mean, Arc himself has barely been playing for this roster. He's also a new player. They are taking the time to rebuild, but as the losses stack up, you have to wonder if there's enough time left. You know, how much more time can we really give this squad before we have to wonder if there's even a chance they could fight for the for the season playoffs?
Well, rough tidings here. Justice able to get that 2nd win, but guys, we have Emily standing by on the floor with space for an interview.
Hey guys, I'm here with Space. Congratulations on your win tonight. Now you guys won 2 out of your last 3 matches, and you guys have been doing a lot better than stage 1. So how is it this stage compared to stage 1?
I think stage 1 we were just figuring things out about like our roster, who was starting, who had the most chemistry. But now we kind of have Kyle and Custa in, and me and Faye have been working well together again. So we just need to rebuild our synergy and go from there.
Awesome. Well, you guys are definitely building it. Now, next week, you guys are going against Dallas Fuel in Dallas. So how excited are you guys to see 5,000 screaming Fuel fans?
Not excited at all. We're very scared. Like, it's the first time we're playing against like an away crowd because we're always in LA. So it's going to be very scary, but I think the players supposed to look out for are OG and Unko. Those are like the 2 strongest players on Dallas, I feel like. So it's going to be a good experience for all of us to kind of get that away from stage experience.
That's right. and then it'll also be a good preparation for you guys because you will also be playing at your home stage. All right, well, thank you so much, Space. Back to you guys, Wolf and Achilleos.
Thank you very much, Emily. Good to hear from Space. Good to hear that they're already looking forward to next week in Dallas. I mean, Space versus Snow, that's a pretty good matchup right there as far as Divas are concerned. But Valiant able to get themselves their second win of the season. Justice, unfortunately, gonna have to wait a bit longer.
Certainly true, you know. Good point about, you know, the experience that they're going to gain during the homestead for Valiant, though. You know, if they do well there, you know, maybe there is hope that they can continue this upward trajectory. And if you're a Valiant fan, you got to believe.
Well, you do, but let's go ahead and figure out who our player of the match is, presented by Omen by HP. The tension builds. It's going to be Agilities.
Agilities had a great series, whether it was on the Pharah to start things off, where he had a good barrage, he had a great start, then moving into the Batiste later on. The guy had so many highlight clips of setting up good amplification matrices, the immortality fields to save his teammates, these solo kills like this one onto Arc. Large hero pool, and he displayed skill across the entirety of like basically every time they swapped comps and swapped strategies, he was the crux of that. You can't run the style they're running without him on Batiste. You can't run the Pharah style unless he's on the Pharah, right? And he came up big in those critical roles, and I think that's why he ends up taking this player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, the Batiste was looking pretty excellent. We didn't get to see any of it from the side of the Justice. He was the one person who decided to run that, but even the Brigida looking pretty good for Agility. So overall, very successful day for him and for the LA Valiant. Gonna be feeling pretty good about going home, getting that victory here in front of their home crowd. Justice just kind of have to reset clearly. You know, they just had the addition of Sleepy, so it's gonna take some time for that to truly gel and mix together. They were putting up some pretty good fights overall, but it's just not good enough to get themselves a victory here.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of chances, though. I feel like they've really got to tighten it up. You know, we could give them the benefit of the doubt only so many times before mathematically they're just not going to playoffs.
Yeah, very true. Well, that's a future discussion. For now, though, we have another match coming up to round out the day. It's gonna be Hangzhou going up against Guangzhou. See who comes out on top, see which team can better represent China, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you back in just a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.